we'll get to, right here. Arise. There we go. There we go. There we go. So yes, this is Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. Block that way. Ah, being eaten by a Shiba Inu dog. Yeah, he's supposed to be chasing his tail, because that's what it seems like we're doing, is chasing our tail. SHIB should be on fire right now. We have just reduced another 15 million SHIB, and on top of that, another 6 million SHIB, right? Yeah, 6.466 million and 15.106 million. So there you go. So roughly 21 million. 21 million 500, roughly around 500 million. So it's 21.5 million SHIB has been eradicated from circulating supply. We're up 15,000. Oh, yeah, 15,488% since yesterday. But please keep in mind that that volume is light yesterday. So we always tell everybody we're constantly reducing SHIB circulating supply. Proof of it is on shibburn.com. Without further ado, we're going to get into today's session. We normally would be hosting a raffle at this time, and the raffle would have already started. The raffle draw. Yeah, we are exactly 1 minute and 4 seconds into the countdown for the 15 minutes, right? So it's right now would be around 13 minutes and something. Hey, Amy. Massive love shout to Amy. Where are you from, Amy? Yes, I know Amy Gillis. You McGillis. You said hi. You're absolutely right. You did. Where are you from? Just give your country and province or state. Yeah, massive love shout out to you. Hold on a second. We'll see if I can get you as a moderator. There you go. You're welcome. So if you have a link to your channel or your website or your YouTube channel, make sure you drop it. What do we talk about? We talk about SHIB, right? We are hosting a SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. We've been doing this ever since November. We haven't sold many tickets. Haven't sold any tickets, but that's okay. A lot of people don't understand what that means, and they don't know how to buy SHIB. We tell everybody the same thing. SHIB only costs you around $15 USDT to buy it right now. The price of it is up, if you can believe it or not. It's up to 14871 currently. It was up 1,500, 4015, but there is a massive wall there. That means there's huge manipulation going on in SHIB. People don't. There's a lot of sellers. Let's put it that way. But I believe it's only a couple sellers trying to get you to sell your SHIB at a lower price. And that's why they're driving it down. But what they don't understand is that if everybody started to buy SHIB tickets or not SHIB tickets, buy SHIB right now, it would astronomically fly. And then they're left holding the bag because they have no supply left in their bags. So that would hurt them more than it would hurt you. And that's the truth of it, because SHIB is trading so low right now that it would hurt them. It would really hurt them a lot to sell at this price. only because SHIB is worth approximately. We haven't had a big spike up in SHIB in a long time. And when we did, we had a 56 billion SHIB burn in 3 months. The fourth month, we saw a little pause, little consolidation, and then we had an explosion. Went 7 times its money, 6 to 7 times its money. Now that's big. If you bought it at 7 or 8, just below the 7 mark, and it went straight up to 5, 4, 5, 5. I think it hit 5. Okay, people were buying it at 5. 4 zeros 5. But SHIB is worth around $400 billion market cap to a roughly $700 billion market cap, which would put it in the 3 zeros 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 8 range to 8. Okay, so 3 zeros 8. That's where it puts SHIB at. That's where SHIB should be trading at, because it shouldn't be looked at with manipulation going on. Right now we have a lot of manipulation going on because they don't. What happens is the balance of power takes over, and the people that are at it with 3 zeros are going to have a hell of a time trying to sell it and buy it. And you want that to slow down, because right now we have 54 trillion SHIB changing hands. Like, you think about it, that's a lot of SHIB changing hands for basically nothing, because it's basically what it is. Like, it's less than 3%, 1%, like, in the amount that's being traded back and forth. Like I said before, it's just nonsense, right? It's like it's incredible. It's just incredible that people look at it and say, well, how can you say it has value when it's continually dropping like this? Okay, price and value are two different things. We talked about this yesterday with the quarter, right? You have a quarter. It's worth, face value, it's only worth a quarter. It's only worth 25 cents. Just like a dollar. If you have a dollar, it's only worth a dollar. But if it's a silver dollar and it's minted in silver and it's pure, like sterling silver, it would host like $5-6. It would get you that, depending on how many ounces, right? So, and silver sold by the pound, not by the ounce. Or is it by, yeah, it's by the ounce, sorry, sold by the ounce. So right now it's $27 an ounce. So your $5 coin that you purchased way back when is now worth $27 if it's an ounce, if it's a straight up ounce. So would you sell it for 5? Everybody in SHIB would. Every single one of them would. And you tell them, listen, you're selling SHIB for that price. Why wouldn't you sell me the $5 sterling silver for that price? Well, because it's worth $27. Well, how do you know that? I don't know that. Well, it's on the market. Yeah, okay. But SHIB's on the market. The valuation is that we reduced SHIB by 500 billion or 600 billion SHIB, and we haven't had a rise from that. We haven't had a breakout from that 700 billion that's been eradicated, or 694. I think it's 694 billion SHIB that's been eradicated. It's gone forever. It's gone. Bye. See ya. It's been burned off. So that adds value to SHIB. It holds value to every single SHIB holder, or at least it should. But it doesn't. Why? How come, right? That's the question you have to ask yourselves. Why? And massive love, shout out to everyone in the world. We want to make sure that everybody in the world has a knowledge base of what SHIB is, because we want everybody to be in SHIB, because we don't want to leave anyone out. This is a positive channel. We strongly suggest to every single person to invest raffle tickets worth of SHIB in SHIB. So every time you buy a raffle ticket, you buy SHIB with it, because it's going to have more value later on. We don't know when that's going to happen. We do know it's an inevitability. That we do know. We know it's inevitable. How do we know that? Because every single person on the planet wants to make money. And every single company and every single organization, every single bank, every single fund manager doesn't go into being a fund manager or into asset classes without making money. They all want to make money, and they want to make substantial money. And all the exchanges that are in cryptocurrency, I'm shocked that they haven't caught on to this already. Because if they did, there would be a massive bidding war, which I'm expecting that there will be eventually. I don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen tomorrow, the next day, or the day after. But I know for a fact it's going to happen. And when it happens, you are going to make an insane amount of money. An insane amount of money. Remember Pretty Woman, where he says, "Are you going to spend, how much money are you going to spend here, sir?" And he said it would, what was it that he asked? He said, if you were going to spend a ridiculous amount of money, would that be offensive? It would be very offensive, he said to him. That would be very offensive. He says, I love this guy because he's spending, thousands, well, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of dollars here. 10 between $3,000 or $4,000 in his store. So it's the same idea, right? It's the exact same idea in SHIB, right? As the Pretty Woman theatrics. How much money are you going to make in SHIB? Extraordinarily amount of money that you're going to be making, huge amounts, especially at this valuation, right? You're buying it at extremely low valuations that no one's put the value into SHIB. They haven't come up and made a statement on it. They haven't come up and said anything about it. So yeah. So Amy, if you haven't subscribed, liked, and commented on the channel, make sure you do that. We are constantly rolling. We always want as many people as possible to come in and check us out because we are, without a doubt, trying to help everybody on the planet become extremely wealthy. And a lot of people don't understand that, but that's the truth of it. We want everybody to become extremely wealthy. And everything else that you invest in, you can't say anything about it. There's no such thing as a guaranteed investment. But if you have something that's constantly reducing its circulating supply, that means it's constantly adding value to your money that's being held in there. So every time we do, like today, we had 21 million SHIB eradicated. What does that mean for you? Well, that's 21 million SHIB put back into the entire SHIB community. Now, it may not seem like very much, but if you think about it, that means that there's 21,500,000 SHIBs that will never see the light of day. That means you'll never be able to have someone else buy that. It's gone. So when you think of it that way, and you go, okay, well, how many people are willing to invest in SHIB? Well, every single person on the planet should be in SHIB, which they're not, because if they were, SHIB would be at $3 or $4 right now. And they would go, well, no, that wouldn't make any sense. I said, well, hold on to your white socks. How many people in the world can afford 1 million SHIB right now? How many? Okay, there's 5.3 billion possible investors. 5.3 billion. So you take the 5.3 billion investors, you take the 589 trillion supply, you divide it by the 5.3 billion investors, you'll come up with a number roughly around 110,000 SHIBs per person. That's if everybody started to buy all at once, which you know and I know won't happen. It would shut down the markets like this in a heartbeat. Because why? They can't compete. That's just too much volume, too quick. And then the price would adjust accordingly. And they don't have the servers or the capacity to handle that much inflows. And all they're doing is buying $3 worth of SHIB anyway. But it's from the world. It's all over the globe. So certain areas will have servers that can handle a certain amount, but even in their own countries, it would cause a collapse. Same thing in Canada, it would cause a collapse here. The markets would have to shut down and start again tomorrow. They would have a big influx in the first three hours, and then that's it. They're shut down. Next day, same thing. 3 hours are shut down until they get the servers up to handle the amount of volume that's being put in there. Now, someone came out and said, well, there's not enough money in the world. Well, I want you to think about this for a second. If SHIB were to fly, it would need a massive inflow to have it happen. Now, those people are going to be spending, today, they're going to be spending $3. Tomorrow, they're going to spend $4, $5. Next day is $6, $7 for the same amount of SHIB, but they're still trying to get in. Next day, we drop. We don't have as many people trying to get in because the price has gone up, triple, quadruple. So now, instead of $6, now they're paying $18, $21 for the same amount of SHIB, right? Which that's why we said predictions are impossible. That's why you have to laugh at predictions in SHIB. Because why? The predictions for SHIB currency is insane. It's insane. It's just insane. And that's the truth of it. The whole purpose of SHIB is so that everybody makes money. No, SHIB, because of the reduction, is utility, and it's massive utility. Think of it like this. A company makes money. That company makes a lot of money, like Amazon or Apple or Netflix. And they go, okay, we've basically tapped out of the market. So we're either going to have to start doing dividends or share buybacks. Because we have so much money, we could do share buybacks. Now, Netflix is trading at around 1,100 USDT. So their buybacks is going to be $940 to $960. $200 off market price. But at least they got an consensus that they're willing to invest in themselves. But they're saying we are overvalued, right? Because they're not at that 950, 960 range. But they're not going to be putting it at market. SHIB is. And it's constantly doing it. Netflix would only have a certain amount of time that they would do it for, right? All of them do the same thing. They could do stock splits, absolutely, but stock splits hurt them, okay? Because you have to issue out more money for the same amount, for more shares that are available. So it gives them the profound. Hey, massive love show to Jason Cox. What's going on? What's going on is manipulation in SHIB. SHIB should be through the roof, Jason. Should be through the roof. We should be sitting at 3 zeros, between 3 zeros 4, 3 zeros 4 to 3 zeros 8, somewhere in that range. But we're nowhere near that because we're highly manipulated. There's a huge wall of exchanges that are trying to buy your SHIB for nothing. It's the truth of it. It hasn't started a bidding war, though, but I'm expecting it to start fairly quickly as more people become more aware. With a rise, we've added, like you think about it, all the value that we've added in SHIB is over 700 billion with a B. That's how much has been eradicated since me and you have been looking at it since 2022, right? May or March of 2022, we have reduced SHIB circulating supply by 700 billion. Now, how much of that has hit the mainstream media or mainstream for SHIB? Zero. So we had the 556 billion SHIB reduced in a short period of time. So that kick-started March of last year, 2024. And we had a big rise. But the 694 billion that's been reduced in 2 years or 3 years has not been acquired. The people have not seen that value. Even though that's gone forever, the 700 billion SHIB that has gone forever, we have not seen a rise in the price of SHIB because people are not paying attention. Plain and simple, people just don't pay attention. I don't know why. You tell me. Amy, you still there? Where are you from, Amy? Jason's from Oklahoma. SHIB is at 4014906 right now. And it looks like a wedge. We got a flag going on. So that's what we have for SHIB. What else we got going on? Let's do a search. I was going to do, we love SHIB predictions, right? SHIB price predictions. Why do we love SHIB price predictions? Because they're lots of fun to watch and lots of fun to make fun of, because that's what they do, right? Make fun of those that heavily invest or think they know, or they talk to an analyst. They're like, this is a professional analyst that came on and made an announcement. I'm like, that's worth a laugh, because who's going to cover SHIB? It's, if you were to look at SHIB like a stock, you would say it's a pink sheet, right? But it's constantly adding value. Well, it's still a pink sheet. It doesn't matter how you look at it, it's still a pink sheet. And that's what people don't seem to realize, that you have to, like, it's not a company, it's a currency. So that's the other side of the coin. So that's the other side of what's going on. And how many people are in it? Me, Jason's in it. There's 1.5 million wallet holders on the Ethereum blockchain. But that means that there's 210 crypto exchanges holding it too. And the top 40 wallet holders, or top 40 wallet holders, holding approximately 57% of the total supply. You can go to CoinCarp to find it out. Top 40 wallet holders. Right now, when I looked at the wallet holders on there, they kind of hidden. See, there's some manipulation going on because it's hidden now. They don't want people to know who owns what, which is funny because it tells you that there's something going on with SHIB. And we talked about this before. SHIB is the golden goose. But in order to get the golden eggs out of the golden goose, you have to own the golden goose, first of all. So you have to have dominance. You have to have dominance. If you don't have market dominance, the golden goose is spread out over 214 or 210 different exchanges. So right now, Robinhood has a massive piece of that golden goose. And they're sharing it with Binance. They're sharing it with Crypto.com, OKX, HTX. Hello, babes. Hello, babes. Yeah, Jason Cox is in the house. Amy's in the house. Jessica, I don't know what happened to Jessica yesterday. Hope she comes in. Who else was here yesterday? We had Cold Star, who's young. Probably not looking at getting into crypto. Not for a few years anyway, not for 3 years. But if she ever tried to get in, or, well, by that time, I don't know. By that time, SHIB could be. How much could SHIB be, Jason, after 3 years? Well, if the raffle were to get started, she'd be looking at a price of around $50 USDT in 3 years, 3.5 years, right? That's only because we're reduced so much supply so fast that it would make people's heads spin 3 times, and do double takes every single day. Because what happens is we have a snowball effect, right? We have that condition. First of all, you start selling tickets, then everybody starts catching on to it, and then they're like, hey, did you ever heard about this SHIB 50/50 raffle? Everybody's winning money. So as soon as everybody hears that, everybody, it's like euphoria, right? Everybody starts to pile in. Everybody wants to be part of that lucrative. Hey, we're making money. It's lucrative. Every single day, it's reducing this amount of money. It's insane. If they keep going this way, they're going to reduce trillions. And next day, there's 3 or 4 trillion SHIB being reduced. And the next day, 5 or 6 trillion SHIB being reduced. But before you know it, every single day, we're reducing 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10 trillion SHIB. Every single day. It don't take long, and you have no supply. That's the truth of it. Can it continue? Obviously not, right? At first, yes, it can continue. Why? Because the price is so low. But once the price starts jumping, that's where you're running into issues, because you got more tickets available, but they're at a higher price. Same price when you look at it like, but you're not getting as many tickets. You're not getting as much SHIB, right? All of a sudden, the amount of SHIB is dropping off fast because it's a higher valuation. So, like 56,000 right now, or 46,000 right now. All of a sudden, that's 62 cents. Jason, 62 cents to buy that 46,000 SHIB. Tomorrow it could be double that, right? So then you're looking at 23,000 SHIB that you're getting with your 62 cents. So your money's not going as far. So as it climbs, you're getting less and less SHIB. Exactly. So you have to sell more and more tickets. So you're selling more tickets, but you're not getting the burns you were getting back when it started, right? You're just not getting those burns. And then once it gets to $1, are we going to be using the pound? No, we're going to be using SHIB, but we're going to be using 50 cents of SHIB if it gets to $1. And then when SHIB gets over $1, we go back to the pound and that tells you exactly that you're getting a fraction of SHIB. You're not even getting SHIB anymore. You're getting a fraction of it. It's still 62 cents. You see how it works, right? You still go to get that 262 cents, but now you're only getting a fraction of a SHIB. You're not getting the full SHIB. So 20 tickets, you're only going to get like 5 or 6 SHIB, or 7 or 8 SHIB. If you do that and there's a billion people buying it, yeah, it's going to add up fast, right? You're still going to get massive burns, but it's going to be at a higher valuation. So, and you like that, right? It's over $1, $3, $4. Hey, right on. But the amount of SHIB that's being burned is microscopic, right? Or we start doing it, well, you can't, because SHIB is still moving. Everybody's trying to get in and out. Same thing's happening. We're still having trillions in volume. That's not going to change until it gets to $10. Or no, $5. Sorry, $5. Once it gets to $5, then you're looking at millions, hundreds, maybe even a billion, maybe 2 billion SHIB trading hands back and forth. There's just no supply. And then you got the whole world taking advantage of it now. And McDonald's, all the franchises will already have it before it even gets close to $1. Before it gets close to $1, all of them will start piling in and reducing SHIB circulating supply, because they're going to be buying massive amounts of it too, and they're going to be trading it off, just because it's making you money. Like, it's insane, right? You're making money on something that's reducing its circulating supply. Every single organization on the planet should be taking advantage of this, and they haven't been, because no one's covering it the way we cover it here on this channel. Nobody. You go talk to all the influencers, listen to all the influencers. None of them talk the way we talk on this channel. That's because we found out that SHIB is constantly adding value to every single person that comes into SHIB, because of the reduction in SHIB circulating supply, which is a massive, massive utility. Why do you think Netflix does it? Why do you think Microsoft does it? Because their market capitalization is already capped on the maximum amount of people that's in Microsoft and Apple, right? Apple is kind of like on the fence, because everybody wants brand new technology, even though the technology isn't worth $2,000 right now. You never heard that from me, though. Right? Well, because the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17 later on, how many differences are going to be there? Probably 2. And are they worth another $300 per phone? No. It's like the razors, right? Remember the razors? They put down there, this one's got laser guided, or 7 blades now instead of 5. So it's a cleaner shave. Yeah, but it's $68 for one razor. Like, isn't that ridiculous? I need to go get a second mortgage to buy the razors. Oh, but they're the best. We swear to it. We swear by it. I thought the 5 razors on one head was insane. 4 I thought was like ludicrous. 5, I was like, wow. Well, what's next? 7, 8, 10? Gonna have 10 razors on one stick, and then charging up the wazoo. Because it'd be like, oh, you can shave with this for 7 to 8 months and it never gets dull. Because that'll be the next promotion. Anyway, this is Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 Raffle. We are here to talk about how is SHIB going to make you wealthy. And that's how it's going to make you extremely wealthy, because every single company wants to make money. Every single person on the planet wants to make money. 5.3 billion of them. How long do you think you have before they find out all about SHIB is adding value every single time there's a reduction in SHIB circulating supply? Every single company out there gets a kickback by reducing SHIB circulating supply. They get a kickback, so it costs them nothing to do it. Plus, they charge you extra to do it. So they're getting 2 times more money, plus they're holding it, plus they're reducing it. So they're even adding more value. So if you think about it, one company doing it, why wouldn't all of them do it if they're going to make that kind of money? First, they're going to get their feet wet, see if they can make money at it. Then they find out that they can, because they're going to reduce the circulating supply of SHIB. Every single company out there is going to want to get in on this. 53 billion people, trust me, not all of them don't own anything. Okay? And the ones that own it own a lot. So they're all going to be wanting to get a piece of the pie. Yeah, Massive Love Shop. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed or liked to the channel, make sure you do so. We are constantly looking for new people to come in, say hi, where you're from. Any day we'll be a millionaire. Yeah, any day, Jason. Any day. The manipulation is pretty strong, though. Hey, Vishaw. Madagascar. Vishal. You're from Madagascar. Holy cow. Right off of South Africa. Massive love. Shout out to Vishal. Thank you for coming. English, their second language? Yeah, massive love. Shout out to you. We always love new people coming in. Absolutely. We want to get everybody. Anthony. Hello, Anthony. Mark Anthony's from out east. Yeah. So that is awesome. We love everybody coming in. We make sure that you feel welcomed here, because you're in the right place. We're all here to make money, right? Everybody wants to make money. We're longtime holders of SHIB. We've been holding it I've been holding it since 2022 of May. Did capitalize on it when it went up. Not gonna lie, I did sell some, but I bought it way too early. I bought around 4027, because I didn't think people were that crazy that they would sell it off back to where it was before, knowing that there's that much reduced. But apparently people don't pay attention. If they did, SHIB should never be this low, right? It's pretty simple, right? You burn 700 billion SHIB. You send 700 billion, gone forever, tokens, whatever you want to call it, SHIB currency, back into the furnace. For every single investor that's invested in SHIB, SHIB, you are adding value to every single holder in SHIB. So you're getting paid to stay. That's how I look at it. So right now we have 21.5 million SHIB reduction today. We're up 15,000% on the burn. Oh, there you go. Okay, right now SHIB is currently around 15, right? Well, 14,884. Up 3%. And Mark Anthony asked yesterday, which exchanges do we recommend? Stick with the high ones, the ones that are highly recommended. That would be crypto.com. Crypto.com, Coinbase. Coinbase is not cheap though, but it's better than Wealth Simple. It's cheaper than Wealthsimple. Wealthsimple is regulated through the CRA, so it gives you a way better um, no, not rate of return, shouldn't, but more security. Okay, how's that sound? More security. It's not one of the top 10 or top 20 crypto exchanges out there, but it's pretty much the safest. OKX, if you're out Asia, if you're in Asia or Madagascar, like Vishaw, Madagascar, you're out there. OKX is probably one of the best. It also has 10 trillion SHIB. So they can easily pay you, Vishaw. Shit was up 3% at noon Eastern time. Right now, what's SHIB at right now? 3.28%. Anyone got the bubbles out? Let's see the crypto bubbles. So it's cryptobubbles.com, right? Yeah, cryptobubbles.net. Sorry, .net. Cryptobubbles.net. You go in there, and they'll give you the breakdown of all the crypto bubbles. So right now we have Pi at 11.9% increase. We have Core at 9.9% increase. BSV at 11.5 and BTC at 109,000 USDT. 109,000 for BTC. Massive love. Shout out to every single buddy. Everybody. Every single buddy. Yeah, everybody. WIF, WIF, 13.3% today. But we only cover SHIB. XRP is up 2%. Where is SHIB? I don't see it here. Last year at this time, not last year at this time, last year in March of this time, last year in March, SHIB was up 400%, right? Like it was insane. It was insane. It was up like 22, it was up like 10%, 20%, 50%, you know, it just kept climbing. And it did add around 6x to 7x after the $56 billion burn from Shibarium. So Shibarium did burn it. They just didn't capitalize on it. They didn't keep up with the burn. If they kept up with the burn, SHIB would rise over and above everything else. But it takes time for people to understand what that means. Because remember what I said, 694 billion have been eradicated, and we haven't had a rise. So because of its slow increments, and everybody says, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. 694 billion SHIB gone forever. Forever. Has not had an inkling because it took over 2-3 years for it to burn that amount. The intro in Pepe. Turtle and Turbo and Nitro. These I have no idea. Hold on a second here. Nitro, where are you? XLM 2.4, Bonk up 3.7, Core. Floki's up 4%, Hex is up. Pepe is up 4.7%. Pepe is getting close to SHIB, right? Oh, okay. Bishop, massive love. Shut up. Brand new Matt Furies. So Adam is 3.2. ICP is up 1.9. Gala is up 3%. BTC's up 2.9%. Like, not to float anyone's boat, but SHIB should be on fire, right? There's no reason why SHIB shouldn't be on fire. It's constantly reducing its circulating supply, constantly adding value. For it to stay down, it makes zero sense. It should always be incrementing upward. Always, 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 always. You should be making insane amount of money off of SHIB, even now. Not insane amount of money, but money, right? If you're constantly always adding value, your price should follow. People shouldn't be this naive that they can't catch on to what's going on, because it's always adding value, right? So when you're adding that kind of value, you're increasing, you should be increasing your price. Now, it doesn't always reflect in it, but that's the truth of it, truth of the matter. I don't see SHIB on here. Ray, SUI is on here. Grant, GRT. I don't know if you guys are into hype, but it's at 7.4%. Pi was up massively over a week ago. It was up like 34%. It beat SHIB briefly. Ethereum is up 2.1%. Crow is up 1.5%. Now, anyone know anything about Crow? Kronos. Anybody know anything about Kronos? They burned 5.6 billion. 5.6 billion. Kronos. No. Okay. Kronos burned 5.6 billion of their token. This was over a year ago. They just announced 2 months ago or 3 months ago, in February, that they just minted 5.6 billion. No, 7.8 billion. So not only did they give back, like, that's what I'm telling. That's what I tell everybody. Listen, just because everybody likes to say they burn, okay? Just because they say they burn, they're still run like a company. They're still run like an organization. If they run into trouble and they got to mint more, they mint more. SHIB can't mint anything. It's done. The keys are thrown away. The reductions, boom. So when you reduce it, you're adding value. That's what I'm saying. That's all these other coins like WIF. WIF burned 1 trillion. Threw them out the door. But it's still run by a board of directors. So at any time that they run into trouble, they just mint more. Like Terra Luna. Remember Terra Luna? Terra Luna did the exact same thing. Oh, someone's manipulating our coin. We're at $214. We're going to mint 6 trillion. Well, price drop. Matt Perry made a lot of money on Terra Luna because he bought it when it went to, I believe it was 803 or something. And somebody invested $1,000 and made an enormous amount of money because it went right back up to 305, 304. And then the founders of Terra Luna just last year claimed bankruptcy protection. The founders, not Terra Luna Classic, because Terra Luna Classic is the old Terra Luna. They called it quits because people were so mad at them because they minted 6 trillion SHIB. 6 trillion of their tokens, right? Terra Luna, not Terra Luna Classic, Terra Luna. It became Terra Luna Classic. They opened up another Terra Luna. That Terra Luna that they opened up went bankrupt, and they claimed bankruptcy on it. Now, Jason, I don't know if you know who Journey is. The exchange, Journey. Do you know who Journey is? You ever heard of them? Anybody? Journey? 2022? 22. Right after the Terra Luna incident. You don't know? Okay. So this was right about the Terra Luna fiasco. What's the other one that was the other one that was bad too? And right around the same time frame. But I think theirs was in 2023 that the fallout of them happened. XRP. Remember XRP? Anybody remember XRP? Not XRP, jeez. Not XRP. Oh, people are gonna be throwing stuff at me. No, not XRP. FTX. FTX. Does that sound right? Anybody? FTX sound right? I believe it was them, but they're 2023. What happened was once they announced that their company is being dissolved, everybody started selling off like everything. Like I mean everything. Oh, cryptocurrency's dead. We're getting out. Bye bye. Because it turned into a scandal, right? They were actually using one of the coins to manipulate their main coin to keep it up, keep it going up. What was the other one? Journey. So Journey had problems. They were trying to get assistance from a few different companies, but they couldn't get the assistance that they wanted. So what ended up with them was they're claiming bankruptcy. So we had the Terra Luna incident, same year, 2022, in July. I think it was July. And then we had the rollout in, I believe, close to September, October of 2022 with Journey claiming bankruptcy. Now, they're a huge exchange, but they had 7 trillion SHIB, 7 trillion SHIB that they had to liquidate because the banks were forcing them to liquidate in the U.S. So they had to get rid of the 7 trillion. So what happens? The SHIB, big sell-off in SHIB. SHIB hits 5073 and it goes all the way down to 70, 507 because of it. They didn't know. If they would have known what they know now, SHIB's at 2.4% on the day. 4.9. I got here 3.2%. On the week, it's up 36.53%, which I don't understand because I don't think it's up that much. May, where was it before? That's April 2022. It was at 4022126. Over a month, 19.9%. That sounds better. Yeah, I don't know why it says head USDT. Oh, that's what they're saying. On the high when it hit the 4017 17. Is that right? Yeah, 1799. That was their 36.53. Of course, that makes more sense. Anthony, that would be correct on that assumption, or that's not assumption, on the facts, right? XRP is up 1.8%. Sorry about that, XRP fans. Anyone in XRP, sorry about that. Didn't mean to bring them up at all about that misinformation or misguided. Yeah, SHIB says right now, it says on the bubble 2.2%. But it's fascinating to watch SHIB. Trust me, it's fascinating. You cannot fathom watching something that trades 20 times in a second. And what does it trade? A millionth, 10 millionth of a coin. Like a 10 millionth of a cent. Like, wow. If people were watching it and they're trading it, they wouldn't trade it. They'd be just like, wow, that's insane. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. But again, there's so many people that are in SHIB that's what happens, right? Like, think about it, right? 55 trillion SHIB traded hands since 4 o'clock this afternoon. 4 o'clock this afternoon. That's only an hour and 35 minutes. We already had 55 trillion SHIB changing hands. We only have 589 trillion. Right? You got 55 trillion changing hands. Okay, so what are you talking about? A couple of $1 million? No, you're talking about a 300 or 400 million. $300 or 400 million. And where does SHIB's price go? It's insane, right? It's up and down. It should be skyrocketing. Like you think about it, like there's no way people are that naive that they don't understand what's going on when you're constantly adding value to everything. Like it's just fanatic. It's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal that people are like trading that kind of volume. You think about it, like that's 55.43. If you looked at it and did the breakdown, how much is that? How much is that worth? Yeah, baby. How much is that worth? A lot, right? Anyone got their calculator out? Figure out what 55 trillion in an hour and 35 minutes is? Like, that's insane. That's insane. That's okay. That's insane. That's insane in the membrane. And then you look at what we have for supply left in circulating supply. Take away that from the 55 trillion SHIB that's been traded. You figure out the percentages. And then you come up with the value. 55 trillion at $4, 40149. Where is it here? I got it here somewhere. There we are. Okay. Widen it out here. Yep. Hold on to your party hats. We'll get you right in there. Okay, so we'll get you two things. So 9% of the total supply of SHIB in an hour and a half. Think about that. That's in an hour and a half, 9% of the total supply of SHIB has traded hands. 9% in an hour and 35 minutes. That's insane. Okay. You're not going to believe this. It's unreal. $826 million. 826 million. Now you tell me if they're charging, what do you charge, Jason, on Robinhood? If you don't mind me asking, if they charge 25 cents, this is why I'm saying there's going to be a bidding war in SHIB that you'll never understand why. This is why, because this is the amount of money they're missing out on. And this is going to astronomically go through the roof, right? So you don't know what you get charged? Okay, that's okay, Jason. We're going to do... So I get 20 on every single transaction. Let's just like if we do the transactions, right? Break down per transaction. That's if it was on every single dollar, but it's not, right? So I have to Sorry about this. We're doing. You don't know. That's okay. That's okay. Counting. Yeah, $20 million in an hour and a half. Now, if you owned 8%, 9% of that, you see where dominance comes into effect? You see why people would want that dominance? Because the golden goose is starting to lay its golden eggs. But if you don't have very much SHIB, you're not getting all that value given to you. So you're missing out on that $20 million in an hour and a half. Like you think, like that's insane. Isn't that insane? That's what people don't understand about SHIB. They don't get it. And no matter how hard you try to make them understand that you're missing out on this value, the exchanges are going to start running the numbers. And once they start running those numbers, every single one of them want to own a piece of the pie. They want to own the golden goose. Every single exchange is going to want to own that golden goose. And to make sure that you take advantage of that golden goose, you are going to make sure that you're reducing the piss out of it. Not with your money, but with everyone else's that is buying and selling off of the exchange, because you have lunatics willing to spend up to $826 million in an hour and a half to get in and get out of SHIB. And it doesn't even change hands. Like you think about it, it's like a millionth, a hundredth, a millionth of a cent, and you have 20 trades on that. 20 trades. That means there's 40 different times that you've made money on that. Like you think about it, that's a lot of money, an insane amount of money. That's why I keep telling everybody SHIB is headed for a breakout, because once they start to realize the amount of money they're missing out on, every single one of them is going to want to make an absolute point to drive home. I want to make the money. I want to take the dominance to a new level. And I'm going to start reducing SHIB circulating supply on a massive scale so that I make sure I hold on to that goose. And I want to keep doing it so that I can maintain the golden goose. Because even if I give back a small percentage of it and I get that money back, the reductions are going to start pouring in, because everybody will be like 10 times the volume, 20 times the volume, 50 times the volume. You can start to see that your 800 million is now billions. And then it's just going to be astronomically higher than that the next time around that you do a burn, because there's even less supply and everybody else is catching on to it. And then you have companies that want to get into it. And we have cryptocurrencies that are going to try and buy into it because they don't want to miss out on it. It's a snowball effect. Everybody wants a piece of it. It's like dominoes, right? It just spreads like crazy. And eventually you have a massive snowball. No, it starts to break off and it starts an avalanche. And it just speeds up, continually speeds up. But what they'll say is all avalanches come to a stop at some particular time, right? Well, with SHIB, it won't unless there's no supply. And if there's no supply, it's going to be competing with Bitcoin. And it's going to have the same value, pretty much the same value that Bitcoin has. Even if we have 25 million SHIB left in circulation, SHIB's still going to be higher than Bitcoin, because the potential is SHIB will have 18 million eventually, 17 million, and still reducing its circulating supply. In circulation, right? 17 million in circulation, because it's still reducing. It's just harder to reduce it because it's only a fraction of SHIB being reduced every single time that there's a reduction. But there's over 1 billion people on the planet, and how many of them own companies? And they're all reducing it all at once. So it's still reducing. So it's still adding more and more value. So you understand that it's even more, it's going to be even higher valuations than gold. So you look at gold and you're like, wow, it's going to compete with gold. It's going to be better than gold. And there's only one thing that can stop us: national banks. Because if they're starting to, well, it's like anything else. we people start opening up banks in SHIB, a SHIB bank, just dealing SHIB currency. Yep, we'll trade your currency, but we're going to burn. They don't tell them we're going to burn. All they have on their door is that we're constantly evaluating our currency. That's all you got to say. That's all the door's got to say. We're constantly evaluating our currency on a daily basis and minute by minute by that time. It'll probably be fluctuating faster than what the US dollar does on the Forex, only because it's being reduced on a constant basis. It's not being manipulated because at that point, it'll be almost impossible to manipulate because every single national bank in the world will try and obtain it. They want dominance too. And they want to steal it from you because you're going to be able to sit there and tell them, listen, the bank's offering you 3% for your mortgage. I'm going to offer it to you for 0.8%. And they can't touch you. They won't even come close. And they're going to be like, you're stealing market share from us. Your dollar's not worth much to me. I'm willing to loan out this money based on your fiat currency not being worth anything. Only because I can use that useless currency to reduce my SHIB, the circulating supply of SHIB, driving up my price. I don't care about me loaning out the SHIB because I'm not loaning out SHIB. I'm holding SHIB as leverage to borrow your money to pay the mortgage for this person. So you're not using SHIB at all. But every time they make a payment, you reduce SHIB with it. See how it works? See, when you reduce SHIB circulating supply, you're increasing your value. You're not only doing that, but you're also doing what? Making it bad for all the banks too, because now they have to compete. They don't like competition. They don't like competition. Period. That's why the national banks are going to buy it or steal it from you. Try and convince you to get out of it, out of your SHIB. They did it before with Bitcoin. They confiscated Bitcoin from everybody, threw everybody in prison. SHIB, they're probably going to try and do the same thing. The only problem is with SHIB is it's worldwide. It's already got dominance worldwide, so it's going to be very difficult for them to do that. But the problem is that the exchanges are holding a massive amount of it. It's going to be hard for the people to take advantage of it. They have to get into it pretty quick here before things erupt. Yes, Jason, you're absolutely right. It can explode at any moment in time. It also means that it could take a long time too. We just don't know. Because if it's being manipulated, someone's holding that much SHIB, they're willing to take the risk of everybody not finding out about it. You've been holding it 36K. How long you been holding it for? Plate sweeper. Just going to call you sweeper. And we'll get you monetized here. Hold on a second here. And massive love shout out to you, by the way. Been holding it. You have 36,000. We don't sweeper. Just a heads up. All you had to do was say I have over 5,000 invested. Okay, don't put specifics. No one needs to know except you and your family and close friends that you want to share that information with, because that's a lot of money. I know your intentions are good, but that's a lot of money. And I don't know what you're like. Everybody has a different out when they want to get out, right? We don't recommend sharing that information because it depends on what you like. Matt Perry, he did this too. What he did was he showed people his chart on where he expects SHIB to go, and then his outs, all his outs were. So when it get close to his outs, everybody would just start selling it because, oh, Matt Perry's got you know, 3 or 4 billion or 5 or 6 billion SHIB, and he's going to start dumping a whole bunch into the marketplaces. So they would look at it and say, "This is where I'm going to start my out." Uh, do we recommend anyone selling their SHIB? It's on you, right? It's on you. But I try and break it down for you that everybody is going to be reducing the circulating supply. It's inevitable. Everybody wants to make money. SHIB is constantly reducing its circulating supply. Thus, its increased utility is massive. That's massive. You don't see any organization on the planet doing this. And there's reasons for it, right? Because it takes years to, it takes, normally for this kind of thing would take years to roll through. Why? Because word of mouth is the only way it gets through. It's a community currency. And it started from nothing. So there was only a few people that got into it. Now there's a couple million, 3 or 4 or 5 million, 6 million, 20 million. We don't know how many people are in it. We know that it's under 10 million people. We just don't know how many. Because each of the exchanges, there's 210 exchanges that accept SHIB, that you can buy and sell SHIB on those exchanges. It's in their best interest to hold as much SHIB as they can get their hands on. We just went through the numbers of why. So from my standpoint, every exchange is going to need owned at least 20 trillion. Now, how much do they sell? 80% of it to the public. But they don't ever sell back to Ethereum. They boycott Ethereum, period. Because they can control the price action. They can control how much money and compete with Robinhood, Binance, and Crypto.com once they do that. So when you sell it, you're not selling it to a person if there's no buyers. You're selling it back to them. So if they need that, because SHIB trades hands so fast, they don't need to. They just continue. They just grab more and more people that are willing to buy it. But if you need the money right now, they will buy it from you directly, so they can trade that money back to somebody else and charge them a lower fee, so that they don't have to pay Ethereum gas fees. And that's the truth of it. That's the whole point of the gas tax. So they don't have to pay that. So they can lower their fees. It makes sense, because the lower the fees, the more people they attract, right? So, but they got to own a lot of SHIB to take advantage of the price action and the reductions. So are they using the reductions from their stash? No, they're using it from yours. So every time you buy and sell, even though it's a small amount, it's still considered. And when they have billions of transactions that are happening, hundreds of billions, no, billions, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 billion trading hands. And if they have the golden goose, or a big portion of that golden goose, 20, 30% of that golden goose, they're the ones that benefit the most from it. So that's why Robinhood's been obtaining SHIB like a mother, is because they want that market share. They want that market, so that, but they have not started the reduction in SHIB circulating supply yet. Once they catch on to what Vladik Buterin did, and Ethereum missed out on, and what Shibarium missed out on, trust me, it's going to be in no time at all before they realize that this is not going to continue. These mistakes are not going to continue. These mistakes are going to actually build, and people are going to actually learn from them and take advantage of it in the long term when it comes to actual acquiring more and more SHIB. Now, are they going to sell it? Eventually, they're going to sell it, but we don't know when they're going to sell it. And if they do sell it, it's not going to be for a millionth of a cent. And yeah, they will be burning it. And will they be burning their supply? If the governments give them more kickbacks, they're going to be burning their supply, because that means that the incentives are working, and that they're going to give them even more incentives, because decreasing SHIB circulating supply also decreases the amount of fiat currency in the marketplaces. So it's a win-win situation, and they haven't figured it out yet, but how many people will be willing to bet against it? There's a lot willing to bet against that they won't figure it out. But I'm like, people aren't dumb, and there's a lot of accountants out there, and I'm pretty sure they'll be looking at it going, you're reducing your circulating supply, increasing more demand as you reduce the circulating supply. How come no one else has figured this out? Oh, I don't know. You tell me. How come they didn't figure it out? It's a no-brainer, right? It's like night and day. It's like, are you kidding me? This never happens. In our lifetime, it never happens. You can't fathom how much money you're going to make off of it. You just can't. It's impossible to fathom it. SHIB goes to a cent. Everybody's like, woo, you can't get there right now. We got 589 trillion SHIB outstanding. 5.3 billion people on the planet. How many of them don't want to make money? None of them. They all want to make money. So you can't say that. But it'll have more money than, no, you got to think about it. $1, okay? $1 worth of SHIB. We have 589 trillion right now. We won't have 589 trillion getting to $1. We won't. It's just not feasible. We just won't. So just get that out of your head. Why not? I just told you, every single company in the world wants to make money too. So it's not just you as an individual. Everybody thinks as an individual. Stop thinking as an individual. Start thinking like a company. Start thinking like an organization that wants to make money. They want to make money guaranteed on their investment because then they can show their investors that they're making money. So if they got something that's reducing its circulating supply and they reduce the circulating supply only to get 10 times to 20 times their money, it's not going to take a genius to figure this out, guys. Vladimir Putin burned hundreds of millions of dollars that he was given, okay, but he used that as a tax benefit. He donated it. So it was a tax, he used it to, what? Alleviate the tax burden. Then, Ethereum benefits from it from September. September to all the way to January. Massive, what? Volume. $5-6 billion being traded every single day. And because Ethereum has the keys on SHIB, guess who's making majority of the money? Did they burn 1 cent? No, but they made over $40 billion in 4 months. That's $10 billion a month. I want you to think about it. That's what they walked away from. They had the golden goose. It was laying the golden eggs, and they're all celebrating. Yay, 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 yay. And how much did they spend to get that? They made 40 times. More than 40 times. Probably 80 times more than what was given to them. So, and they didn't capitalize on it. And you're saying to me that the rest of the world will not know about this. None of them are going to take advantage of it. Not a single soul out there wants to make money. It's a matter of time before they start realizing this. And it's shocking to see that they haven't taken advantage of it yet. And it happened twice. Not once, twice. And we did the 694 billion burn in 3 years. And we haven't seen an inkling from that from the rise. People just don't pay attention. People just don't pay attention. And that's why I said when you're seeing the value being added and people are just willing to take the quarter at face value, not look it up. Now, why would we want to do that for? It's only worth $250,000. But you want to take it at face value at 25 cents and you're willing to trade that 25 cents for another 25 cents? Knock your socks off. But for those that are got the due diligence to look it up and find out that it's worth $250,000, they're going to be waiting for the $250,000 unless they want to get half the money and take it to a pawn store or a pawn shop, right? Take it to a pawn shop to get half. If they're lucky, they'll get half. Most of them charge 60%, so you only get 40% or 45% because they're going to be sitting on that for a while. That's what they tell everybody. It's 3 or 4 days they're going to be sitting on that because they know collectors. Like, don't kid yourself. They already know the collectors. And their collectors are going to give them 85 to 95% of the value of it because they're going to pocket $10,000, $12,000 off of it themselves, even if they sell it to somebody for higher valuations. But you understand how it works? something of value, you didn't look it up, you don't know anything about it, it's too bad. So sad. You miss out. SHIB trading right now is below value. How far below value? Well below value. It should be sitting up there with Ethereum, either above it, just above it, or just below it for market capitalization. That's where SHIB should be sitting, because value is being added. But right now we have multiple. We're being manipulated lower, and you can probably figure out who's manipulating it lower. Right now we're at 405-15005 for SHIB, and I'm Will, your host. And I gotta say good night. God bless each and every one of you. Massive love shout out to Sweeper. Massive love shout out to Jason Cox. Massive love shout out to Anthony. Mark Anthony. Massive love shout out to you. Massive love shout out to Rowena. Massive love shout out to Visha. Massive love shout out to who are we in the room? Babe's channel. Massive love shout out to you. Amy. Massive love shout out to you. And everybody out there that hasn't come in and said hi, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We want to make sure that everybody has a great and wonderful time here. We want to make sure that everybody becomes extremely wealthy by understanding what's going on in the world and in SHIB, because SHIB's world is awesome. Plain simple, awesome. Yes, until tomorrow, we'll have to settle down. Until tomorrow, we'll just keep moving on. That's right. The last hobo. That's right. Another day in paradise. Right. We have no idea when we're going to be extremely wealthy, but it's coming. It's inevitable. Anyway, thank you so much, and have a great and wonderful evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. God bless each and every one of you. Jesus loves you. Peace out, everybody. Till the next time, till tomorrow, roughly around 5:30 to 6:30, we host the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle every single day. Trying to sell tickets so that everybody can get there a lot quicker, because once we start selling tickets, tickets will set SHIB ablaze. Quite literally. It's snowball into something absolutely phenomenal. And then you can start your countdown. How many days before we actually get to 38 pounds per SHIB? That's where we would like to see it. But that also means we're under 2 billion in SHIB circulating supply. God bless each and every one of you. Jesus loves each and everybody. Till tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Peace out. Bye for now, babes.